Hey everyone, welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that is so important for notaries, but let's be honest, can be kind of confusing: apostilles. We're going to break down what they are, what they aren't, and most importantly, exactly where you fit into the whole process. All right, so let's just jump right in with a super common scenario. You're sitting with a signer, they've got this really important document, maybe for an adoption or a business deal overseas. They slide it across the table, look you right in the eye, and say, I need you to give me an apostille for this. You know, it's that moment that can make your stomach drop a little if you're not totally sure what to do next. Okay, let's just get this out of the way right now. This is the number one most important thing to burn into your memory. You, the notary public, do not and cannot issue apostilles. It's probably the biggest misconception out there for both signers and notaries. Your role is absolutely critical, for sure, but it's not creating that final certificate. So, okay, if you're not the one issuing them, what in the world is an apostille? The easiest way to think about it is like an official international seal of approval. Let's really dig into what these things are and why they are so crucial for any document that's crossing a border. So at the end of the day, whether we're talking about an apostille or something called an authentication certificate, they really only do one thing. It's just a special certificate that a government official literally staples or attaches to your notarized document. Its entire job is to prove to some other country that you are who you say you are, a legit, active, commissioned notary public. That's it. Okay, but here's where it gets interesting. Why the two different names? Well, whether a document needs that apostille or an authentication certificate, it all boils down to just one thing. It all depends on a huge international treaty that kind of changed the game for everyone. And that treaty is the Hague Apostille Convention of 1961. Seriously, before this thing, getting a document accepted in another country could be a total bureaucratic nightmare. You can imagine, right? Multiple stamps, multiple offices. It was a mess. This convention came along and basically said, hey, for all of us countries who sign this, let's make this simple. It created one single, easy process for a whole bunch of countries. Okay, so that leads us to the million-dollar question, right? How do you know which certificate your signer actually needs? Well, like I said, it all comes down to where that document is headed. It's actually super simple when you look at it this way. If the document's destination country is part of the Hague Convention, if they're in the club, it needs an apostille. One and done. Super straightforward. But if the country is not part of the convention, then your signer is going to need an authentication certificate. And that process can be way more complicated, sometimes needing more than one stamp from different places. So the main takeaway, it's all about the destination. And this, right here, this is probably the most important part for you as a notary. It's all about understanding the crystal clear line between your job and the signer's job. Getting this part straight is everything. Okay, so look at it like a simple handoff. Step one, that's you. Your job is to perform a perfect 100% error-free notarization. That's your whole piece of the puzzle. Once you've done that, boom, your official notarial duty is done. Then comes step two, the handoff to the signer. It is now their job to take that document to the right government office, usually the Secretary of State, and ask for the certificate. And finally, step three is the state's part. They'll look you up, confirm your commission is valid, and then issue the apostille. See? A clear division of labor. Now, here's the kicker. Even though your part is just that first step, the stakes are, no joke, incredibly high. That document is going to be under a microscope, and any little mistake you make, a wrong date, a blurry seal, forgetting to sign, can get the whole thing rejected. And that means huge delays and extra costs for your client. It's a big deal. So let's just boil it all down to this. Your number one responsibility here is to deliver a perfect notarization, flawless, error-free. Your work is the foundation for this entire process. And you know what happens if the foundation has a crack, right? The whole building on top of it is going to fail. All right, so we've totally nailed down your official job as a notary when it comes to these documents. But now, let's talk about the fun part, how you can turn all this knowledge into a real business opportunity. Because here's the thing, your official notarial duty might end with that stamp, but your relationship with a client, that doesn't have to. There's a way you can offer so much more value to people who are, frankly, often really confused by this whole process. Which brings up a question I get all the time in the notary community, and it is such a good one. Can you actually offer something called apostille services? Can you help your clients with the whole thing? And the answer is a big, resounding yes. Generally, you absolutely can. This is an amazing way to use your expertise to provide an extra service for your clients, but you've got to do it the right way without crossing any lines. So what you're offering is basically a courier service. You can act as their agent. You take the document after you've notarized it, you physically take it down to the Secretary of State's office for them, and then you bring the finished document back. Now, this is key. This is a completely separate, non-notarial service. It has absolutely nothing to do with your notary commission. And because of that, you can charge a separate fee for your time, your gas, your expertise, whatever you think is fair. And look, even if you decide, hey, offering a courier service isn't for me, just knowing this stuff inside and out, it makes you a better, more professional notary, period. You can confidently explain the process to your clients, manage their expectations, and show them you're a true expert. That builds trust, and trust is everything in this business. And really, that's the whole shebang. You now get the what, the why, and the how of Apostilles and your role in it all. So I'll leave you with this question. Now that you're the expert in the room, what are you going to do with this knowledge? How can you use it to serve your clients even better and maybe even grow your business?